Hello, and welcome to the Screen Chronicles. I'm Colby, and with me, as always, is Steve. And today we've got our special award ceremony for Season 4 and our final review. So we're pretty pumped.
I'm excited for this. Like you said, we're doing our final review of Season 4 of The Last Kingdom, as well as our awards day for The Last Kingdom.
Yes.
So we're going to give, if you haven't already heard all of our recaps for each episode, make sure to check those out. We give our reviews, our best bro moments, our best moments for each episode. So make sure to watch those. But if you're new to our channel, this is a final review for the whole season. We're going to give a non-spoiler. And then eventually when we get into the awards, it's going to be all spoiler.
Yeah, so we put out the post just to see what people thought about some of these awards too, and we were kind of blown away with the amount of feedback that you guys gave us. It was awesome, and we really enjoyed reading some of those really thought out responses that you guys gave us. Some people suggested categories that we ended up putting in, and so stick around after our review, and we'll be going over those.
But let's start out with our review, our final review of The Last Kingdom. If you want each of our, like you said, the nitty gritty, check out our each individual episodes. But if you haven't seen The Last Kingdom, if you're new to it, deciding whether or not to watch it, The Last Kingdom is about a 9th century England where the Danes have invaded and the Saxons, who are the native English, they're fending off the Danes. They're having rivalry, trying to decide, and it's really about the formation of England. And one guy, Uhtred, who is a man of both the Dane and the Saxon world, and he's really at the center of this, and you're really seeing this happen through his eyes. So it's a really interesting historical drama. I mean, if you listened to us before, you know it's our favorite show.
You got to watch it.
You got to watch it.
We recommend this show to so many people, and not one person has come back to us saying that they didn't like it. Most of them come back saying that they loved it.
I really liked some new characters that we got. There was probably one of the biggest battles, if not the biggest battle the show has ever done this season.
Dare I say, maybe the best episode, maybe ever in The Last Kingdom this season.
Yes. So there's a lot of good things. The only bad things I can think of is, I'd say the second half, it loses a little bit of momentum. It feels more like a setup for season 5, which I am really excited for after this.
It sets it up well.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree. It does. After just about halfway through the season, it does start to kind of slow down a bit. It becomes a little bit more political. There's a couple episodes without any Dane characters, really, which is part of the reason why we love the show so much.
Yes.
So, but what Steve and I did is, if you listen to our episode recaps, is we ranked each episode individually on a scale of 0 to 10. And to be as objective as possible in ranking the season as a whole, we went through and averaged our ranks, and then averaged both Steve and I, what our ranks were, to come up with the Screen Chronicles overall average score of the season. There's a science behind that.
There's a science, people, and we got an 8.3. So that's still a pretty decent B. It's really only the second half that really brought the score down. I mean, the first 4 episodes of the show were just amazing, like you said.
Maybe the best.
Some of the best Last Kingdom stuff we've ever got were in that first 4. And it kind of slowed down. Also, too, what hurt its score was episode 5. Honestly, my least favorite episode of The Last Kingdom we have to this point. Again, though, it's still a lot better than the worst episodes of other shows. And it's still better than some of the best episodes of some other shows. So,
yeah. And if that's the worst that The Last Kingdom is going to do, then they're going to be all right.
They're going to be all right.
That's not a horrible score. But yeah, it did bring the average down a little bit compared to the past 3 seasons, where it didn't really seem like there was a slow episode.
We didn't rank each episode before, but I probably wouldn't have dipped. Honestly, I don't think any other seasons as a total, if we were to go on a scale of 0 to 10, I don't think any of them would have been below a 9. Probably 2 for me would have been a 10 out of 10, and then 1 and 3 would be anywhere ranging from a 9 to a 10, depending on how I felt that day.
The Last Kingdom has nailed it season after season after season. And I would say they nailed it again, but they've set a bar so high for themselves at this point my opinion.
Yes.
That it is not easy to reach the level of season 3, season 2 for me. But did they, as far as production value? I think the acting the acting's always been good, but that continues to be awesome. But I just think that Last Kingdom at this point, if you've watched it and you've watched every season, the bar is set high. And
it's staying fresh. It's not falling into any formula.
Totally. But we still love season 4. And
love it. Still worth a watch for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's on
awesome.
Netflix. Check it out. If you're a fan of historical drama, politics.
Yeah.
You need something.
Good acting.
Characters. Acting.
Oh my God.
Directing.
If you want to cry, if you want to jump up off your couch screaming, yeah, I mean, this is the show for you. Honestly. I did that. I don't know.
That's how we did that. That's our usual. So
tell us what you guys thought. Do you think it ranked higher than the other seasons, lower than the other seasons? We're curious to know what others thought as well of the season.
Make sure to check out our other talks with members of the cast and crew, including Harry McIntyre, who plays Ethelwald. We have Eliza Butterworth, who plays Aelswith, and we have Rune Attempte. I mean, the list goes on and on. So make sure to check those out too. Also subscribe and or
Please
follow us on podcast, YouTube. Make sure to ring the bell and or sign up for automatic downloads if you're on podcast. So you can always stay up to date with our latest episodes, because we're going to keep putting them out. More stuff on The Last Kingdom, and then we are going to go on to some other shows here down the line as well.
So without further ado, we just got off the red carpet, as you can see, and people are filing into their seats for our very special award ceremony, because you know that this is what all the actors and the characters care about. This right here. This is of you. This is the most important award ceremony probably ever.
Probably in the history of ever.
Would you rather win an Oscar, or would you rather win an Arseling Award from the Screen Chronicles?
An Arseling Award from the Screen Chronicles. Get your Arseling here.
Yes.
It's just Uhtred's ass. Season 1 ass, not season 4 ass. So it's like, it's kind of a throwback. It's kind of a throwback is what it is. It's original. We're
going to start with who we missed the most here in season 4. Most missed character.
Whether they were dead and or just weren't in the season frequently.
Right. So the first nominee is Alfred. This is the first season, without Alfred, and his presence is felt not only to the viewer who might miss David Dawson, but also to the characters in the show.
Second nominee is Ragnar. Ragnar the Younger, as you might know him from season 1, Uhtred's adopted brother, the Dane with the best avatar tattoo on his forehead.
Yes. Yes. And our next nominee is Ethelwald, because, you might not miss his character as being the guy who's causing trouble, but he did cause a lot of great plot lines.
He stirred that pot. Then our next one, Biaka.
Uhtred, son of Uther of Bevenberg, welcome to the Christian world.
As we said, we got a spoiler alert for this part. Biaka dies early in the season. A big fave of mine. He's won Bro of the Year from me in the past. I think Bro of the Year from you as well. And he's an extraordinary character, great father figure to Uhtred, sacrifices himself. Great character. We miss him.
And our final nominee for this category is someone who was also in the beginning of season 4 here, but we didn't really see much of. Still alive, as far as we know, in the universe. It's Hild.
Where is Hild the nun? Has she left us?
And I do miss her warrior ways. I miss her being in the gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In
one of the
Uhtred
bros
household group. As one of the bros. She's been a bro since season 2. And the winner of most missed character in season 4 is Alfred. No, I don't think this is much to argue about here. Yeah, you could say Ragnar, but you think about the struggles that Ethelfled and Edward had, and Aelswith had, and just Wessex and Mercia had. I mean, I got to think if Alfred's there, there's not going to be as many problems.
He was really the one that it brought the idea of England to everyone, that unifying these Saxon tribes, these different Saxon kingdoms, under one ruler to make a united England. He was doing it while fighting off the Danes. I mean, this is a real historical guy, too, guys. Check him out. Crazy.
Oh, my God. He seems, yeah.
So, I mean, and David Dawson killed it.
This season, he would have been so, it would have been just so good to have him in this season.
So now we're moving on to a very important category. Every character has on the show has something kind of unique that defines them. What is it you say? Personality? No, it's their hair.
Yes.
It's their hair. And the nominees for the category of Best Hair Season 4 The Last Kingdom are Uhtred for his top knot
sweet
thing that he's got going on.
Yeah, next nominee is Sihtric. Now, Sihtric kind of had the comb over, you know, shave the side of his head and like flowed this way, but he also had this like braid that kind of went through like the part where like the head was shaved, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looked pretty sweet.
Very unique sort of Dane haircut. And our next nominee is Edith, who probably has another unique hair. She's probably the most standout character, I think, of the season. One, because she's smoking. And then two, I mean, she's got the purple robe. She's got like orange hair. I mean, she's
like you said, it's not covered in shit. So.
she's not covered in big shit like everyone else.
Our next nominee is Canute.
Very vibrant ginger hair, man. And our final nominee is Father Pureleg.
Yeah. Yes. So who's the winner?
And the winner of Best Hair, Sihtric for his Dane comb over with the braid. Really reminded me of, it wasn't really similar to, but for whatever reason, it just reminded me of Hawkeye from Avengers Endgame when he just comes in with that.
And I think this one really came down between Sihtric and Edith for me.
Oh, yeah.
So next we have Best Beard category. And season 4, our first nominee is Heston. It's a giant, and he's got like the tusks in it, which is really cool.
Then we have Canute, because it's just a giant ginger beard that goes with his ginger hair, and it's just, he looks so Dane.
Oh, my God. Nominee. And our next nominee after that is Finnan. Now, Finnan had a pretty raw, thick beard this season, too.
Solid. It's very thick. Yeah. It's like a Colby level beard. It's probably the Irish.
Hey, thank you.
It's the Irish.
It's probably the Irish we have in us, huh?
The Irish you have in you.
And then our final is a guy we haven't really seen with too much of a beard, at least not this thick, is Steapa. So Steapa really Adrian Boucher kind of grew out the beard pretty well. When we talked to him, he had a pretty nice beard going. I would say it was a tough looking beard. Like, you don't want to mess with this dude.
Yes.
And the winner of Best Beard goes to Heston. I gotta say, Heston's is the coolest, I think, especially with those tusks.
Yes. It was a real toss-up for at least for me between him and Canute. The Danes always, to me, I think, have the best beards. They're the most wild guys, and they like to put style in their stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They like to
totally.
So another essential part of appearance is best costume. We recently talked to Molly Rowe and all her thought processes for designing, the insight behind. Make sure to check that talk out too when you're done here. But the nominees for Best Costume Season 4 are Uhtred for his new armor. It's a little lighter than we saw in Season 3.
Slick and sharp, I think. The next would be another guy who looked pretty slick was Sigtrygger. Really liked his double ring Mjolnir necklace. I thought that was a pretty cool look. And then we learned from Molly Rowe, too, is they didn't give him like a lot of body armor. They kind of gave him a slick, thin look because he's more agile, cat-like, and he thinks more. So he's not necessarily as combative as other Danes. So he just looked like a cool Dane.
Then we have Edith. As we said, she's the only one not covered in pig shit.
She had a very unique look, yeah.
Yeah, it's purple stuff going on. Very unique. Really helped her stand out.
Our next nominee is Canute. Now, Canute, man, he looked like a sweet Dane. He looked good last season, too. Had a good costume, and this season looks sweet. And he's got the Midgard serpent in his necklace, the scaly kind of armor that he's got on. Makes for a really great Viking look.
Next nominee is Sihtric, who also has pretty much Dane armor on with the sort of scaled armor that we see in the other Danes on the show.
And then our final nominee is Heston. And what we learned about Heston's armor is it actually has like runes engraved into the scales of his chest plate or his chest piece. And also they took pieces of Dagfinn. Dagfinn's not in season 4. They take pieces of his costume and infuse it into Heston's to make sure that his, memory in the show kind of lives on, which is pretty cool.
And the winner for best costume of season 4 of The Last Kingdom is Canute.
Canute. Yeah. He looked pretty sweet.
And then too, the backstory we got from Magnus and Molly, regarding how they designed it, all the thought that went into Magnus researching that, what sort of mythology his character would probably prefer and how that went into it. And
love those little details. So I think that's very deserving.
Yeah, he looked like a badass this season. We knew he was a thinker in season 3. He was a schemer. And then we kind of saw at the end he would go beast mode, and this one he just looks like a beast mode guy. And
he looks scary.
Looks scary, looks tough, really looks unique. Great costume.
Next category, best shield wall call.
Shield wall ready?
Because there's just so many options in season 4.
We got some flack for this one, but we love shield wall calls.
Shields together! Shield wall! Shields up! Shield lock!
We had to put it in there.
It's an essential part of The Last Kingdom. We had to. And there's only technically 3.
There's technically 3. So here are the nominees. First one, Sigtrigger, when he yells shield wall and nobody listens to him. Next nominee
is Citrigare when he yells shield wall and everybody listens to him.
Yeah. And then, of course, right after that, we have our third nominee, Edward, who yelled shield wall, and he got it on the first try, to be honest. But it was a pretty gnarly shield wall as well. So we're really picking between 2, Sigtriggers and Edwards. So gonna give it to Sigtrigger because I don't know. It just seemed like, how when we were talking to Runa Tempta, he told us about how he when he did his Viking roar, he summoned something else.
Yeah, it was very spiritual for Uba.
Yeah, it's almost what it seemed like with that second shield wall call. It seems like he really had to dig deep. He had to almost come from outside himself, for that second shield wall call. So
absolutely, it was very raw, barbaric. It's really stereotypical sort of Dane, but Citrigare himself is not a stereotypical Dane. So it was really cool to be able to see him. He's able to do that, though. He's able to go there. And that's probably why he has all those guys that follow him. So, that shield wall call. This was the one I immediately Snapchatted to you when I finally saw episode 10. That I was like,
so we were waiting all season for it.
So definitely Citrigare's second shield wall call, hands down, easy win.
Totally. So now after a shield wall call, it's only fitting to go into best battle moment.
Best battle moment. Our first nominee for the best battle moment from season 4 is Uhtred versus Canute. Just a gnarly drag out brawl between
1v1.
The Dane Saxon hybrid leader of the Saxon army versus the angry Dane commander of the Viking horde.
Yeah,
just a
totally
great brawl. Definitely.
And we knew that Uhtred had found out about Canute before this, so about how Canute was really behind killing Ragnar. So yes. Uhtred kind of had another edge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also Canute had the edge because he thinks Uhtred killed his son.
Yes.
Even though Uhtred did not.
Yeah. So there was a lot of emotion coming from both guys. You really feel it. It's a heavy just brawl. It's so good. It's so good. It really caps off the battle so well from episode 4.
Totally. So the next moment that's nominated is that incredible scene where the horses are falling into that trench at the Battle of Tetton Hall. This is the most upscale moment in a battle I think we've ever had from The Last Kingdom.
This is definitely the most cinematic that we've seen from The Last Kingdom. Our next one is when Stiapa saves Edward during the battle. Obviously, if you've seen the show, Stiapa ends up dying as soon as he saves Edward. But it was really cool to see that this man who has been forever loyal to Alfred, his whole family, he puts it out there to save Edward when he probably should not have if he wanted to stay alive, but that's not what he was doing. We talked to Adrian Boucher, and someone asked us about, would Stiapa pick Alfred or Uhtred, and Adrian gave a great explanation why he would always stick with Alfred, and I think that really shows through this scene here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and our next nominee after that is when Uhtred goes off right after Beocca dies. That whole just sequence of him just losing it. And he almost kills Finan because Finan comes to try to tell him we need to leave, and he doesn't care who it is. He just comes and tries to swing at the next person he sees, and Finan knows it's probably going to happen, so he blocks it. Another cool moment. But just that whole sequence of that just rage that comes out of Uhtred there after Beocca dies, and you can see the pain on Alexander Draymond's face and Uhtred's face as he's fighting his way out of Bebbanburg.
It looked very similar to the pain on our faces when we were watching this.
Yeah.
Next nominee is Sihtric. After he gets cut down, he's almost dead from the upside down hanging that Heston gave the Uhtred gang, and he manages to get up and just go ape with this rope on the Dane coming at him. And although he needs some help to finish him off, I mean, the guy was, heavy claudication going on in his head right now.
He was like almost dead. He like snaps back into it right as the guy's charging. And if you were like wondering like, why is this a nominee? Go back and watch this. He takes the rope he was tied with. The guy's charging at him. He like goes and he like clotheslines him with it. Oh man, it's cool.
Great scene.
It's cool. Yes, and our final nominee, the moment that Ethelfled and Aldhelm are surrounded by the Danes at the Battle of Tetton Hall, all of a sudden Jackdaw gets an arrow through the back of the neck, and it pans to Edward had saved his sister. I leaped off my couch when I saw that. I went nuts. I was like, yeah, Edward. I mean, finally, Edward's doing something awesome. It was an incredible moment.
I was on the edge of my seat, just like rocking back and forth, worried that Ethelfled was going to die, that Aldhelm was going to kill her. Or I was also worried that maybe Aldhelm was going to die and not kill her. So it was a tense scene, and then all of a sudden Edward with the boss, bow lower.
Ooh, boy, that was sweet.
So this was a real challenge for us then to decide which one it was. I wasn't giving any ground for the Uhtred versus Canute. You were dead set. You're dead set on the Edward saving Ethelfled. Both great scenes. Both great.
Yes. I think I lean toward that one over the Uhtred v. Canute, although I love the rawness of that fight. So there's only one way to solve this, Steve. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. Scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Shoot! Oh, come on! Rock, paper, scissors, and then put it under the computer so I can't see. And we'll raise it up right at the same time. Oh, yes! Come on! Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Up. Oh my God!
6 months later.
This is stupid. This is stupid.
We'll get this. We'll get it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes!
No!
Yes!
Do we keep going? Best 2 out of 3?
No, we don't keep going.
Okay, fine.
We just tried. We just did like 10 rounds.
So
it's
then,
just in.
Logical decision.
Best battle moment is when Edward saves Ethelfled, in that moment when Wessex comes in to save the day. There's our best battle moments. I mean, we could have a tie there if you want. We just want to have a tie. It's tough.
It's up in the air, but you saw the outcome, and you see why it makes sense.
Our next category is the biggest twist of the season. What surprised us the most? And our first nominee is the fact that Whitgar killed Aelfric, his father, in that moment when he was holding the crossbow. I think obviously that was a big, like, whoa for everyone. You know what I mean?
That was a big whoa.
We definitely didn't see it coming.
Second one is the Edward and Aelswith reversal. What we mean by that is the character reversal. We were really expecting Aelswith to be the one who was the thorn in Uhtred's side this season.
Yeah.
And Edward sort of trying to figure out his way and sort of being manipulated by Aelswith is what we thought. Really turned out to be pretty much a 180 there, with Edward being sort of incompetent and Aelswith really trying to save Wessex and even being pro Uhtred by the end of the season.
Yeah, it was unexpected, and Aelswith's character was actually very likable this season, so it was kind of cool.
Very unexpected.
So another big twist was when Uhtred pulled the old switcheroo after he became the Lord of Mercia.
I don't want it. I never have. She is my queen.
The old Lord Switcheroo.
Yep, he just kind of hot potatoed it over to Ethelfled real quick. That was a big surprise as well.
Yes. Our next nominee, Uhtred being announced as Lord. That was really surprising to me. I was really on the edge of my seat. My eyes were like wide when I saw Edward's hypotheticals coming. Hypothetically, what would it be like if a guy who's 5'10", got like a Dane style haircut, and I just got the shit kicked out of him, moments earlier. How would he be his Lord? And I never even saw this being an option in the show, so it was really cool to have that.
Never expected Uhtred Lord of Mercia.
No.
Whoa, that's just, if you'd told me that a year ago, I'd be like, are you out your goddamn mind? Come on. Next is Sigtryggr just wanting peace. When we first meet him, he's like yelling like, we'll turn the fat ones into slaves or something like that. And like he comes in and kills everybody, all the Welsh, and then taking Winchester, and then all of a sudden he didn't want to fight. Like he was holding Winchester for like 30 days, and Uhtred goes in and he just wanted peace at the end of the day.
Next nominee is Erdwulf. We really didn't know what to think of Edith and Erdwulf when they first came into the show. And, for a while you were kind of thinking maybe they're bad because they're scheming. Maybe they're good because it seems like they have good intentions. It's just clearing their family name. But then Erdwulf really turns out to be a, ass licker sort of deceiver guy.
Totally.
He betrays the Saxon kingdom. He kills Ethelred in his bed.
And to me, that's like one of the big moments there.
Yes.
Without further ado, I think this one is a no-brainer, but we'll see what it says. It is definitely Whitgar killing Aelfric.
Ooh.
I think that, I don't know, to me that's like the biggest like whoa moment for me.
That was the biggest. I did not see this coming. I went into full detail on how I felt on the scene. I was honestly a little disappointed we didn't get more Aelfric in the show. But apparently this is how the book did it. They did have Aelfric sort of I don't want to say anticlimactically killed off. That's how I perceive it. But he wasn't so much as a one-on-one duel sort of finale bad guy.
Yeah. I don't consider anticlimactic because it was a credible moment. You know what I mean? Because it did make for one of the most memorable moments of the season.
Yes. And then it really sets up Whitgar being another big bad guy for Uhtred, especially his next act.
He seems like a badass, to be honest.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm actually excited. I hope he's in season 5.
Our next category is Best Episode. And Best Episode means, first of all, doesn't necessarily mean it's the one we rated highest, but it just means everything that goes into it, has all the things we want from The Last Kingdom, things that make it unique, character driven, makes you feel.
From a filmmaking standpoint too, I would say, directing and stuff. Yeah.
First nominee is Episode 2. This is the one where the guys end up going to Bebbanburg, and then, like you said, at the very end, the twist where Whitgar kills Aelfric.
Yes, absolutely. And our next nominee is probably one of the most emotional episodes of The Last Kingdom, at least definitely in season 4, is episode 3. Byakhee dies in the beginning, and then the rest of the episode is really Uhtred trying to get his mind back to who he is. I mean, he was just broken, and Finan coming in to pick him up, and young Uhtred coming in to pick him up. Boy, this one was it really brought the tears, this episode.
Absolutely. Our next nominee is episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this was the episode that we were going to get the battle from the trailer that looked nuts.
Oh, I know.
It delivers. It really gives you a crazy battle. There's a lot of classic Last Kingdom things that goes on in it.
I think it feels like a finale.
It does. It does.
Yeah, and probably the most upscale we've seen, too.
Yes, yes.
But even other than the battle in that episode, I would say there were a lot of other cool parts of it, too, that make it a good nominee.
Absolutely. Everything before the battle, too. Magnus's performance when he finds out his kids are dead, or when he thinks his kids are dead, it was really well done.
Totally. So our next nominee is episode 6. Now, this was the episode where whatever kind of sickness was going on, and it also felt kind of Lord of the Rings-ish, because Uhtred and the gang were kind of on the road. They were going through like paths through the woods to get off the main trail, and it was really kind of a cool feel, and it was kind of a weird one to watch with all the coronavirus stuff, the COVID-19 stuff going on in the world today. You know, again, not trying to make light of it or anything like that, but it was definitely like, whoa, it's kind of relatable.
Final nominee is episode 1. This one makes the list because it really brings you back to the characters. It feels like it just hands the fans what they want to see, everything they want. They want to see the bros come back.
Get a little fighting with Aelfric in the beginning is cool.
Yes. Great bro moment with Byakhee, Hild, Wessex. It's a great episode, sailing off into the sunset. So, without any further ado, our winner for best episode of season 4 is episode 4. Was there?
Yeah,
really?
I don't think there's any doubt about this one, because it's like the best episode ever of The Last Kingdom.
This was the one where I was on the edge of my seat the most, I think, out of any other episode of The Last Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I really hope to see more of things like this in season 5. Hope we get another 1 or 2 of an episode like this.
Yeah, I don't think there's any competition with this one. I think next might be episode 3 for me, just with the emotion of it.
Absolutely.
But
we both gave this one a 10 out of 10. I would have gave it an 11 out of 10 if they had a shield wall call and a 3-tier shield wall.
I think they kind of made up for it with the trench thing. And I also want to mention that too, back to our best battle moment. I think that could have been our best battle moment had we not seen it in the trailer first.
Yes.
Do you think so? Because it's so cool when they fall into the trench. But we had seen it already, and we knew it was going to happen. So the wow factor of seeing it in the show wasn't as high for us. It was still cool, but
I would agree. You definitely. It's a hard balance, I think, for shows when they're trying to get people to watch. And I was still pumped when I saw it, but like you said, I knew it was coming when I saw Uhtred just standing there. You know, right in the way of the horses. I knew, that because I saw the trailer.
Try to imagine you didn't know, because they don't really tell you what's going to happen. They show them cutting down trees, but if you didn't know, your mind would have been blown. And I'm sure there's a lot of people. I'm sure some people listening to us right now didn't watch the trailer.
Their mind was probably blown.
And their mind was probably blown when you see Canute. I think it's just you just see Canute just fall.
Yes,
is the first thing you see. And then
he goes off his horse.
It's weird. It makes me, like, if a season 5 of The Last Kingdom comes out, it almost makes me not want to watch the trailer just because of that. But I'm obviously going to watch the trailer.
I'm obviously going to watch it. I just hope that they hide, if they have some more big moments, I hope they hide it from us.
Yeah.
I hope they hide it.
I will say that got me very excited, though, for the season.
Absolutely.
So that could have been the best battle moment. Anyway, let's move on to best overall scene. Our first nominee for best overall scene is after Byakhee died, Uhtred is burying the cross. And there's kind of flashbacks back and forth with that. He is broken, and Finan comes up to him, giving him his pep talk, and just gives him the biggest bro hug there's ever been. I mean, come on. The biggest bro hug. Yeah. And it's just a moment that, again, brought tears to your eyes. They killed that.
Oh, yeah.
They killed that.
Absolutely. Next nominee for best scene was the episode 4 battle scene. Even though we weren't really surprised, there was still a lot of surprising beats in it. Stiapa's death, Ethelfled being in danger, possibly needing to be killed off. Edward, the Welsh showed up. It was a crazy scene.
Everybody was there. Mercia was there, you know?
Yes.
I mean, as a scene, it's counting from like the beginning of that battle all the way to the fight with Canute.
Yeah.
Our next nominee is just that scene after Edward Sigtrygger's like, you need to choose between your sons. And he goes back and just starts screaming, and it's like silent. You can there's a small muffled sound you hear on the TV, and this is a really incredible scene to show the emotion and the pressure and the inner turmoil of Edward.
Our next nominee is Edward. When he has all the voices coming at him, he just found out some news that Canute really didn't leave, and that now he's taking some land, and now everyone is pulled him aside, and they're all telling him what to do, and you can just see the conflict in him. You can see the frustration that, you know, he's still trying to figure out how to do this king thing, and he's just tired of everyone else constantly telling him what to do. It's a great scene.
Yeah, really great scene. And our final nominee is when basically the whole Bebember scene, when young Uhtred had snuck in, and then the boys go do like a SEAL Team 6 operative mission to get in, which we always love it when they do that. They do that from time to time in The Last Kingdom, Uhtred and the boys. Just the whole scene with Aelfric in the courtyard there with everybody around. Joseph Milson kills it once again, and then Uhtred sneaking in. The arrow shots like we talked about, Bayaka taking one for the team, Uhtred losing it, and then to cap it all off, the row, leaving Bebember, bringing them all the way back to the lowest point in Uhtred's life prior to this, I would say, is when he was a slave, when he had to row. Him and Finan, too, was there rowing. Bayaka just died. He's once again lost his home. So that is our final nominee. And the winner is the Battle of Tetton Hall. I mean, come on. That scene is just epic on so many levels.
It's got it all. I mean, it was like you said.
No, it doesn't have a shield wall.
Doesn't have a shield wall, though. Doesn't have a shield wall. But it was so good. I think other than the shield wall and the fact that they give away some scenes from the trailer, I mean, it was perfect.
It was just cool to see everyone in action. And I think Sarah O'Gorman, who directed that episode, first female director on The Last Kingdom, by the way, she did episodes 3 and 4, and wow.
Definitely my 2 favorite episodes from the season. She killed it. Awesome. I hope to see more of her in the future. Most improved. So this category, you might know this from other sports things, but, from The Last Kingdom, there's a lot of characters this season who are introduced and grow throughout, and there's some other characters that we know that have changed from the beginning.
Yes.
Our first nominee for Most Improved of Season 4 is young Uhtred. We're first introduced him as pretty pious little kid, pretty sort of narrow-minded. Not necessarily that he has a bad mindset, but it's pretty limited in his perspective, and it really opens up. He also becomes sort of a warrior near the end. Uhtred sung.
So our next nominee, and this was also a very popular submission from a lot of the fans, is Aelswith. And you've got to consider Aelswith for this because you don't even like her ever before the season. And all of a sudden she's coming in and doing all these awesome things, being a really key role in the things that happen in the season.
Mm-hmm. Our next nominee might be a little controversial, but is Ethelred. He really comes in this season. I mean, it takes him about to die before he really has any reconciliation. But it really is satisfying, the scene between him and his wife, Ethelfled, who you never thought you would be happy with them interacting again unless he was on the tip of Ethelfled's sword. So
yeah. Final nominee is Canute. And it's just because Canute might have been this badass in season 3, but we just didn't see it that much. Mm-hmm. He did have one cool battle scene in episode 10 of season 3. But to see him go off here in season 4 was pretty cool, and now he is like the one leader of the whole Dane Army, and he had a pretty great outing in his time in season 4.
So the winner for most improved character of season 4 is Ethelred.
Wow. Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, this one was pretty split amongst the input too that we got.
Yes.
And we debated amongst ourselves quite a bit between Elswith and Ethelred.
Yeah, obvious choice that I think everyone's mind goes to is Elswith, because she goes from, as a character, like you said, someone you pretty much despise anytime she's on, to being a character that at the end you're hoping she's not dead. But we had to give this to Ethelred because he's been a real canute ever since we've met him. To Uhtred, to his wife Ethelfled, he's been abusive. Even to Edith, he's been abusive. But in the end, when he's about to die, he asks for forgiveness from Ethelfled with a little prodding. And then when Erdwulf comes in, he's trying to get Ethelred to break his word to his wife Ethelfled. Ethelred doesn't want to break his word. He made a promise, and even though he's not cognitively there 100%, he keeps to his word. He says no, and he really loses his life because of that.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that we weren't happy when he died, but didn't see Ethelred coming 100 miles away. I didn't see that coming.
Did not see that coming.
Favorite new character, best new character is next. Our first nominee is Steora. Now, Steora is a great introduction to this season. She's awesome. She's a mix of Gisela and Uhtred. She just seems like the total package. And she also kind of becomes a bro too, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Next nominee, another new character from we saw this season, was Edith.
My name is Edith.
Yeah.
Really, questioning her intentions at the beginning of the season, where she was, but then she's a really great woman, with good intentions. And, I really hope to see where she goes in season 5.
Yeah, totally. Sigtrygr, and he is awesome in every way. We got an awesome Dane again. He's just smart, but he's also new. He's different, but he still has that playful nature some of the other Danes had. And he's just very likable character to me.
Next favorite new character nominee is young Uhtred.
Why do you drag me to something for which I'm not made?
Because I see the man that you will be, not the boy that you are.
Uhtred's son really starts to earn his way in with his talk with his dad, especially in episode 3. Constant loyalty, even though he's sometimes doubts his dad, which we learn in season 3. You just don't doubt Uhtred.
Never.
You just don't. But young Uhtred's new to the game. He's only seen 2 seasons, so we'll give him a break.
Totally. And then our final nominee is Ethelstan, because this kid is awesome. We know he's going to be the future king of England. Even when he talks, he doesn't have a lot of lines, but he's smart. He's already acting like a king.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ethelstan is definitely a nominee for best new character. And so the winner of best new character is Sigtrygr. Now,
of course.
This was, especially even with the fan submissions that we got for this was almost undisputed.
He steals the scene, whatever scene he's in. Like you said, he still has that old, or not old, but he still has that classic, ferocious, lethal humor side of Danes. But he's also, he's kind of woke. He's kind of woke.
He's woke.
He
wants
that
Viking millennial.
Yeah, he's a Viking millennial. So, he wants the best for his people. I think he steals it. Steals the show anytime he's on. So next category is best death. As always in The Last Kingdom, we have people biting the dust. And this season is no exception to that. Our first nominee for best death in season 4 is Beocca. Beocca sacrificing himself for young Uhtred, really, prolonging, not only doing that for young Uhtred, but also doing it for Uhtred, who is sort of like a son to him.
Yes. Next nominee is Erdwulf, just because his death involved Sigtrygr's speech, and then there's the perfect execution of a textbook execution of an execution. It's just textbook.
It's textbook.
Right into that subclavian artery right there.
Yes.
It was just, oh my God.
Next nominee is Sciapa for the watermelon head.
Oh man.
This makes it Not only because, we want to honor Stiappa for being in the show, but also it's probably the most brutal, if not cartoonish death that we've seen on the show.
Yeah.
It earns the nominee just for being the most sort of different and creative that we've seen.
Yeah. And also just to pay homage to a great character too.
Absolutely.
Next is Ethelred's death. It was a very interesting death. It was a very intense scene, I think. And with the tourniquet, with the head, with that little wooden stick he had there.
He gets twisted to death.
He gets twisted to death. So that was a crazy death.
Next one is Elfrich. Elfrich, his death, although I didn't really want it at that point, it's still pretty crazy as far as setting up his son, Whitgar. It's surprising. Did not see it coming in a million years. And, it's so crazy seeing
It's an arrow to the eye, too. Our next nominee is any shot Aldhelm had of getting Ethelfled. Was brutally killed this season when Uhtred came to the door
just naked
in his birthday suit.
Brandishing both of his swords right in front of Aldhelm.
Yes.
After doing the horizontal tango with the woman he loves. And then later, Ethelfled just swearing to chastity. I mean,
Aldhelm's shot is dead.
Destroyed.
Probably the most dead.
Probably after Stiappa's death, this is probably the most vicious kill that we've seen on the show.
Yeah. Aldhelm's shot with Ethelfled is over. So, sorry, Aldhelm. Anyway, the winner is, other than that one.
The winner for Best Death in Season 4 is Biaka.
Yes. Okay, because you know what? He sacrificed himself. For young Uhtred.
This is really the epitome of the relationship between Uhtred and Biaka. Biaka has always been there for Uhtred, no matter what. Even though Biaka is very pious and Uhtred is very pagan, he loves Uhtred like a son. I mean, he stuck up for him in front of Alfred, in front of Aelswith, in front of anyone. He's gone into battle. He threw him a spear across a shield wall gap. He's been bro of the year. I mean,
he's headbutt dudes. Come on.
We could go on for days. Legend.
That's very deserving. And also reading the submissions from the fans, I think everybody pretty much agrees with. And now here, a fan favorite category is next. Biggest piece of weasel shit. This was actually a hard one to choose. So let's read the nominees first. Our first nominee is Eardwulf. Now, come on. Eardwulf is like the definition of weasel shit here. He betrays his country. He kills a poor innocent messenger.
He threatens his sister.
He gets up in his sister's face. That was when he's just really pathetic. He tries to kill Steora. He is definitely a big nominee.
Oh, yeah.
Our next nominee for biggest piece of weasel shit is Rodri. And if you don't know who Rodri is, he is King Howl of Wales, of Waelas, his brother, the one who kept Brita as a slave. This guy, man, he he peed on her, and
he was just always wearing his Ovechkin uniform,
if I could just punch through this TV screen, man, or this computer screen, man, I'll tell you what, I'm sick of that. I'm sick of it.
Our next nominee is Ethelhelm. He's a big weasel shit. He's the real one sort of undermining Edward this season. He really took the role that we thought Aelswith was going to fill. He was really the one undermining everything. He tortures Uhtred. He calls away kids from running to their grandma. He's a real weasel shit for sure. He poisons Aelswith.
He sent her to her room and then poisoned her, and he's just kind of the way he holds himself and stuff is just don't like the dude. So there are the nominees. The winner, and it was a very tough choice, and I think it really came down between Eardwulf and Ethelhelm, but the winner is going to be Eardwulf for this season. And I think a big reason why is Eardwulf is not going to have another chance to become piece of weasel shit of the year next season. Ethelhelm still has that chance. So I think it's only fair to give it to Eardwulf this year. But yeah, I think Eardwulf was also from the fan submissions. I think they agree with that as well.
Our next category is Best Female Warrior. Now, we would have a warrior category for both sexes, but we just know that Uhtred would take best warrior category for male anyways. So we are just going to go for best female warrior here. So our first nominee then for best female warrior for season 4 is Ethelfled. You know, this is really the first time we get to see her be really a warrior. We've seen her fight, defend herself in the past against Heston. You know, we've seen her training with Siapa, but I think this is the first time we've really seen her in a major battle, just going all out, getting some really good beats.
Next nominee is Brida. Oh my God. Now, Brida's also a great leader, and I think one thing she does that I really liked is that she stops a lot of the men from going in the trench. She can like smell that something's up. Where Brida's inner Admiral Akbar comes out. It's a trap, and she makes them go around it. So I like that moment. But also she just kills like everybody she sees. Like, dang. And she's pregnant doing all this stuff. So.
She's pregnant for most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, and she has a big baby bump most of the time too. So the winner for best female warrior of season 4 is Brida.
Oh, okay, yes. So Brida.
This was a toss-up for us between Ethelfled and Brida. It really came down to, you know, if we had to pick who would win in a one-on-one. If you made the square,
Brida.
Yes, she's
more vicious.
She's more likely to make it out of that square.
I think so. So anyway, next category is Best Dane. Ooh, Best Dane.
So our first nominee for Best Dane this season is Heston. Heston really makes this one. You know, we don't really get to see him fight too much this season. We have in the past, though. But he is the best shit talker this side of Offa's Dyke, you know? which we learned is what separates Wales from Mercia. So, I mean, without a doubt, you know, he takes the cake.
Definitely. Our next nominee is Brida. Brida had a pretty great outing. She is like Dane through and through, even though we know she's a Saxon, but she is pretty much Dane through and through. Especially after she comes out of slavery, she just wants to kill every Saxon she sees.
Our next nominee is Citric. A lot of people might forget that Citric is a Dane because he's with the Uhtred group. He's one of the bros, but he actually was first a Dane, and he's still a Dane. You know, if you stick with Uhtred, you pretty much keep your heritage. So this guy's still a Dane, always loyal, definitely Dane.
And our next nominee is Sigtryggr, who is the newcomer from Ireland, and he has a lot of new ideas, and he's very different compared to the people that have come before him. So
our final nominee for Best Dane is Canute. I mean, he really takes off this season. He amasses a giant army. He's definitely a big threat to the Kingdom of England, or the future Kingdom of England. Just conquering. He's bloodthirsty. He's raw. It's great. Great to see him.
Totally. And the winner of Best Dane of the season is Sigtryggr. I think this one is another one that was like unanimous.
Yes.
I won't say unanimous. Some people voted like Citric and stuff. For us, I think it was a no-brainer. And for most people wrote in Sigtryggr for this one too.
Great personality, different personality. He steals the scene anytime he's on. Great character.
Totally.
So our next category is Best Saxon.
Saxon of the year.
Saxon of the year. These are the people who are in the Wessex, Northumbria, anyone who's not a Dane. You know, that's who they are. The British sounding people. Our first nominee is Biaka. Brave guy, through and through to the end. He sacrifices himself. He's always there for Uhtred.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can we say? He's an amazing guy.
Yeah. Our next nominee is Lady Ellsworth for ensuring Alfred's dream could live on and for saving Mercia.
Yes. Next nominee is Osferth. He never loses his faith. He sticks with Uhtred during all these trying times. He always believes Uhtred's going to come out on top.
Next is Ethelfled for being the leader that her people really needed in that dire time.
Next nominee for Best Saxon is Ethelstan for his kingly nature at such a young age. He's already shown the qualities that we hope to see in leaders.
Yes.
And he's just a kid.
Yes. And then Uhtred for getting baptized again.
So our winner for Best Saxon of Season 4 is Aylesworth for ensuring the dream. She really picks it up here when Edward's dragging his feet on, you need your father's dream. You need to be friends with your sister. Definitely fan favorite this season, and definitely for us,
she killed it. Yeah, no, totally. I think she definitely deserves Best Saxon because she is a huge reason of why there's going to be an England in the future and why it's not getting taken over by Danes. So,
and she definitely exemplifies all the qualities of a stereotypical Saxon. She's got the piety, got the hate for Uhtred. It's, everything's there.
Yes. All right. Now getting into Best Bro Moment.
So this doesn't necessarily have to be a male. As we've mentioned that this person's kind of a bro, even though they're not male. But it really did. The idea came for us because we always see, the tight-knit group that Uhtred has around him and how, the characters are, will do nice things. And I always like that in shows when people aren't just constantly doing things out of spite is when they're actually doing something nice. I like when shows recognize that you don't always need negative drama between people in a group to have good character moments. So
totally. So our first nominee for this one is that moment when Finan comforts Uhtred with that huge bro hug after Beocca died.
Yes.
Great moment.
Yes. Our next nominee, Best Bro Moment. Beocca's sacrifice to save young Uhtred. It's a bro moment for his surrogate son Uhtred, as well as his Uhtred son Uhtred. I mean, it's
his surrogate grandson.
Surrogate grandson. It's a double bro moment.
Yeah. And then Beocca again for the next nominee. The first time he says goodbye to Uhtred, and Uhtred says father. Now it's Father Beocca, but he says father in a way that's we think it's supposed to make you think that Uhtred's recognizing Beocca in that moment as his father figure in his life, and the way Beocca looks up at him when he says that it kind of gets you a little bit there.
Our next nominee is the bro moment between Uhtred's son, young Uhtred, and Uhtred. And this is when young Uhtred in episode 3 really gives his father the talk he needs, the motivational speak. Everyone's trying to cheer Uhtred up this episode, try and get him back on the path. But it's really young Uhtred who seals the deal. And it's a great moment between the two characters. It's so perfect.
It's what Uhtred needed at that moment.
Absolutely.
And then kind of pick any scene when the bros are in the bar, and Steora joins them too. And she has her first drink. This is kind of the one we're thinking about. And Finan is talking about being an advisor to the Lord and why they should get drinks and stuff. And it was just a great, fun bro time.
Absolutely. Our final bro moment is when Uhtred tells Edith to save Citric first, prioritizing, who needs to be cut down. Because if you think about it, even though Citric is about to die, he's the worst one that you could cut free first, because then to fight off the Danes, you have a guy who is, very cognitively not there.
It worked out, though.
He worked out. He definitely came through. But I mean, if you think about it logically, he wouldn't be the one. It's
also just the fact that Uhtred had got not just Citric, but everybody else before him.
Yes.
He
went in order of people with the most sort of claudication going on, the most blood to their head.
Edith's instinct might be, I better get Uhtred down first because he's the most important. You know what I mean? Or he's the one who could fight off the Danes. So Uhtred taking that initiative and putting the others before himself was pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
So without further ado, our winner of Best Bro Moment of the season is the Finan Bro Hug.
I mean, it is so good.
So raw.
I mean, this might be one of my favorite bro moments ever from the show, honestly.
This is one, too, the fan input is just, bam, everyone's thinking of this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really obvious one, but it's very well done. I mean, it's well done. It's well acted by both actors. It's so good. What else can I say?
Nothing.
Okay. So our next category is Bro of the Year. Now, this is big. This is the cream of the crop here. We love the bros in the show. as we've said since, we first did our first recap of season 1, our best bro moments are some of our favorite moments. Yeah. And we always give the best bro of the year after that year. Byakhee has had season 2, even though we don't have season 3 out yet. I'm going to give you a little hint. Finnan might be in the running for that. But this one, we have a lot of great contenders, a lot of great moments from a lot of different people. Our first one is Purelig. Purelig, who has to step up after Byakhee dies as advisor. He's doing hill sprints this whole freaking season.
I know.
And he's losing weight. I mean, looking good. He sticks by Uhtred. He goes through the politics even though he hates it. He's a real stand-up guy.
Totally. Next bro nominee is Byakhee. Again, for taking having some awesome bro moments that we had picked. He has some awesome pep talks with young Uhtred, awesome talks with Uhtred, and then that incredible moment of sacrificing his life.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And a past winner, as we said, definitely a big bro to watch this year.
Totally. Someone who might be toward the end of their career, but had a great
final season. Yes. Our next nominee for Bro of the Year is Uhtred. We normally try not to give to Uhtred because he's definitely one of the king of the bros. He's always the one that has the bros around him.
Yeah.
But he has come through at a lot of great moments. I mean, he was there for Edward in the final episode, sacrificing himself. He was he was there for Citric when Citric was hanging upside down. He was there for Mercia when they needed someone who could, read a little bit better to be Lord, So, I mean, he's definitely in the running.
Totally. And our next nominee is, believe it or not, Finnan makes. I mean, Finnan, who you said may or may not have won our season 3 bro of the year. He is definitely a nominee for that in season 3, but comes through in season 4 was just some of the most raw bro moments. Given that bro hug that won best bro moment. So Finnan is definitely got to be a nominee for this.
And our final nominee for Bro of the Year is Stiora, a new character, but she's definitely one of the bros. I mean, she's funny, smart. She likes to drink, with the bros when they all think they're advisors to the Lord. She's great. They character.
Really took her in. So Stiora is a great nominee. And then
the winner for Bro of the Year of Season 4 and winner of this year's Bro of the Year Arseling Award
the season
is Finnan.
Oh, yeah. This was obvious. Come on.
I mean, man, it was. He had so many great bro moments. I mean, since he's been freed with Uhtred from slavery, he's really start to, really steal some scenes, really bring in some humor. He had the best bro moment of the season with that bro hug. So, I mean,
he had other great ones, too.
Absolutely. He doesn't stop there. Pep
talk to young Uhtred, all the scenes in the bar, totally deserving. Also, this one was pretty much unanimous from the fan submissions, so totally.
Mm-hmm.
We have one more category. And this is our most valuable character of the season. Okay? So let's go ahead and read the nominees. So our first nominee is our new character, Sigtryggr. I mean, he played a huge role since he came into the show late in the season, really stirring things up. And he's also a big reason why they decided to have peace at the end is because that's what he wanted. And he made the deal with Uhtred, so very, very valuable character.
Yes. Our next one is Finnan. Most valuable, not only because he's a warrior to Uhtred and helps with the battles, but he's also there for moral support for Uhtred.
Oh, my God. Picks up everyone when they're down.
Exactly. Everyone would have been on their asses, given up if it wasn't for Finnan coming in with some bro moments to bring it up. Great humor, too. I mean,
he also said that prayer before the battle.
Yes. Also, the only one who has any logic during a quarantine,
I know. They needed him. Yes. So
we needed
that's another huge reason why he was valuable.
Absolutely.
next nominee is Uhtred. I mean, he's the main character of the show, so gonna probably be important to the plot and to the things that happen. So Uhtred is our next nominee.
Yeah. Our next nominee is Aelswith. Aelswith comes in, as you said, she not only really helps to get Edward in line, but she's also the one who gives the idea of Tetton Hall to Ethelfled as to where they have the fight, which with that big ravine helps them beat the Danes when they are initially outmatched.
And she orders Purelig to go get the Welsh.
She orders
to help fight, which they probably wouldn't have won without the Welsh.
Exactly. She gets
and
Ethelstan out.
Saves him.
Starts to nurture him, who's going to be the future king of England.
Yes.
Unite everyone.
And again, she told Edith to go get the firewood so that she wouldn't be there when they got captured by Heston's crew.
Yes. Great outing. Great outing from her this season.
Oh, my God. And then we also, a nominee, he deserves some credit because of all the hills he ran, is Purelig. Purelig was instrumental in going to tell Edward that Winchester had been taken and also running to Wales to get the Welsh. So Father Purelig is also, and he baptized Uhtred again, and he blew on him, which is, is so important. So the winner of most valuable character. Oh my God. This is unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
So, of course, Uhtred is going to be the most valuable character on the show. He's going to be at every season pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
But this year we have a tie, the first ever tie we've had in the Screen Chronicle Arseling Awards ever.
It's unprecedented.
It's unprecedented. Who ties Uhtred as most valuable? And to tie the main character of the show is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It is Lady Aelswith coming in with that most valuable character award as well. You have Uhtred for going in and saving Edward for making that decision, for leading the people and coming up with the idea of the trench at Tetton Hall. There's a lot of reasons you can pick Uhtred. Uhtred kind of giving the power, Mercia, to Ethelfled, playing just an instrumental role. But of course, it's going to happen to him. But Aelswith, they would be screwed without Aelswith this season. She, like all the reasons we just listed, gets the Welsh, tells about Tetton Hall, saves Ethelstan. She was just invaluable this season. She was incredible.
Absolutely. It's unprecedented, but it's
unprecedented.
It's unprecedented.
A tie for most valuable character. This has never happened before.
This has never happened before, folks. I don't know what the Academy was thinking, but I think they got it right this year.
I think they got it right.
I think the Screen Chronicles, Arseling Award Academy really got it this year.
They got it right. I think there's a team of individuals that are just constantly sitting in a room thinking of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you to the Academy for letting us host this year, the Arseling Awards.
Thank you.
From the Screen Chronicles. And
thank you,
yes.
Beyonce, for your musical guest performance.
Yes.
I hope you make the final cut of the episode. If you don't,
if there's time, yeah. There might not be. We might have to cut the Beyonce performance out that was supposed to be in the middle of this, is just in case.
But she did great.
Time constraint. But she did great if it's not in it.
I know. Just could you believe, Alexander Draymond's his dance with her? That
I know
that dance
he
battle
came on
had?
stage.
That was crazy.
I didn't know he could dance like that.
Oh,
I know.
God. Well, they'll never let us film that again. That's for sure.
I know. Probably not. And I sure hope that footage doesn't get deleted. So we, after we download this. So
yeah,
that'd be a shame.
That would be a real shame.
But I hope you all get to see it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks for sticking with us here. This is our first, awards show. We really wanted to do this to, highlight some of the spoiler talk we had and really, showcase some characters, that you might not have thought before.
And just keep the discussion going. We love talking about The Last Kingdom, and we know a lot of you do too. So please join us in the comments for some talk. I don't know if you've noticed, but we we're pretty much reading everything. We were taking the time to, go through everything, and we try to get back to everyone. Lately, it's been getting harder because we've been getting a lot of messages and stuff, but we do our best, and I think we've been doing okay with it, getting back to people. So keep the conversation going. We love to read what you guys think.
Definitely comment on our YouTube video, our podcast. We'll get back to you on those as well. We love to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments who you thought for each category. Why were we wrong?
Why were we wrong?
Right.
Fight us.
Fight us.
We want it.
Make the square.
We'll make the square.
Come
on, let's have some discussion.
But keep it nice, keep it friendly down there. Keep it friendly. But thank you again for listening. Make sure you subscribe to us, ring that bell on YouTube so you always know when our videos are coming out. Keep us on the automatic downloads on podcasts. We are This Screen Chronicles. You can find us YouTube podcast.
Absolutely. But for now, it's been fun talking season 4 with everybody.
Destiny
is all.